Who needs to have a big game for the 49ers to win?
I mean, everyone, we've been saying how they hold a disadvantage for the 49ers need to have big games. They need Mike McGlinchey to have his best game of the season. Otherwise, take that for what it's worth, but they need Sweat to stop Sweat and Chase Young in that sense. They need McKivitz or whoever plays right guard to have a big game. But
McKivitz or whoever the hell that is. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Keep going.
But I think they need to run the ball. So whether that's Jeff Wilson Jr. or Raheem Mostert, I know Washington has a really good run defense, but they need to figure out a way to move the chains because I think Mullins is going to have a tough time in this game. And I think the best way to do that is by running the ball. So I would say Wilson and Mostert.
Jack is thinking long and hard, or he's frozen. Ooh, it's hard. It's impossible to know because it's such a good question. He could be stumped.
It's because Leo's not on, so Jack got the Leo.
Yeah, no, he's just deep in thought. All right, well, I'm gonna kick Jack Hammer out of here, and if he comes back, he comes back. I think he'll come back. But in the meantime, in between time, let's talk. So the question here is, who needs to have a big game for the Niners to win? I think it's real clear. I think it's Deebo Samuel. To me, when he has a big game, the Niners win. When he somehow is phased out or injured or whatever, they lose. He is training wheels. He is training wheels personified for any quarterback. And I'm not sure that the run game is going to work, Maverick, because it's a hell of a front, hell of a D line. Oh, he's back. I'm going to finish though, and then Jack can come in after me because I'm rolling right now. So hold on. I'm saying it's got to be Deebo Samuel because great defensive line. Wilson and Mostert is going to be tough for them to go into the teeth of that defense. Brandon Ayuk, hell of a player. Mullins not going to have time to get the ball down the field in this game. The Niners' best play in this game is going to be screen right to Deebo, screen left to Deebo. They got to run that play 4, 5, 6 times and let him break as many tackles as possible. That's their running game.
So do you think it's like the LA game?
Sure. I mean, whatever. Whether it's jet sweeps, end around, screens, just get the ball in his hands and let him do his thing because the Niners didn't do that enough against the Bills. He didn't really become a factor in the game until it was over. And that's, to me, inexcusable. They can never, ever let that happen again. It's too easy to get him involved. Way too easy. Screens, play him on special teams. He has an amazing effect on this team. He is, to me, a Pro Bowl level player. And as long as he is involved and not injured, the Niners can beat anyone. He is the one that gives them the time of possession, that keeps the ball on their side, whatever. Deebo, Jack, what do you think?
I agree with that. And what you just said is really kind of along the way that I'm thinking too, as far as when I'm saying screens or some like the tight end, but really those little things where they have them, where you can get away from having the defensive line knocking it down is when they're running the ones out. Yeah, the swing kind of a screen where the wide receiver screen where he's moving. It almost becomes a sweep at that point.
Yes.
Those kind of plays, maybe a jet sweep here and there. Yes. They really got to get him going. I think if they get him moving, I think like we talked about yesterday on the game film breakdown, that opens up the running lanes behind him. So they really need to make the Redskins focus on him.
To me, he is the new George Kittle in the sense that he's the guy who brings the offense to the red zone. And it makes it so easy. It's just put it in his hands and he'll break 8,000 tackles and get you to the 9. Now, Deebo Samuel may not score, but he'll get you to the 9. And then, Ross Dwelly, Kendrick Bourne, Kyle Shanahan can figure something out. It's like playing Madden on rookie. He just makes it look so easy. You got to get him the ball. If he's not getting open down the field, give him the ball behind the line of scrimmage. It really should never come to this. We shouldn't have to tell Kyle Shanahan, hey, remember Deebo Samuel? He's on your team. He's healthy. Now, they've put him on the injury list the last couple of times with a foot injury. I don't care. He's on the field. He's practicing in a limited basis. Give him the ball. The one time he got the screen, I think it was the late third or the early fourth, he broke about 5 tackles. He looked great. He got 15 yards. Come on. So it's got to be Deebo.
One other guy I think they should involve is whoever they're playing at tight end, whether that be they figure out more Charlie Werner stuff or they go Ross Dwelly and Jordan Reed. I'd like to go Reed, but Eric Ebron, outside of his 3 or 4 drops he had last week, he's always had drop problems, but he had 7 catches for I think 68 yards last week, dropped a touchdown. He was catching a lot of quick passes. Yeah, so I think get the tight end involved. That's one of Washington's weaknesses on defense. They've given up 2 touchdowns to Mark Andrews this year, who's obviously better than the Niners tight ends right now. And then the Rams had a good day against him. Dallas Goedert, I think, had 90 yards and 2 touchdowns against them in week 1. They got to get their tight ends involved.
There you go. See, what I would do is first play of the game, shotgun, RPO with the fake run up the middle, pull it out, throw it to Debo for a screen. That's your first play. Establish Debo right off the bat. Let him smack someone. Second play, you could do, or early in the game, you could do the same thing for IU. You could do the same thing for Richie James. That should be the bread and butter, and you can build off that. What the Niners like to do is you got that run play built in. You can run off that up the middle. Or with Kyle Juszczyk, Ross Dwelley as those guys down the field blocking, the downfield blockers on the screen, they can slip the blocks, run upfield, and catch long passes. We've seen them do all these plays. This is like a whole concept that's packaged together that the Niners use plenty of times. It's there. If Kyle Shanahan is on his game, he'll use it. I just can't believe that he forgot about Debo last week. I don't think it'll happen again. I don't think it'll happen 2 times in a row. Especially not after this show, because Kyle's a big fan. Kyle, shout out to you. Good taste. All of you as well. That's all I got. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
The only thing I was going to say was that the 49ers should have a little bit of an advantage this week because of the scheduling, with Washington having to play on Monday night in Pittsburgh and then having to come now out here. I understand the Niners are stuck in Arizona, but the NFL would never schedule a road game following a Monday night game normally. So that should be something that should be a little bit of a break for the 49ers.
I didn't think of that at all. A road game after a Monday night game. That is hard.
Yeah.
That is what you would also almost call a scheduled loss. We might get, remember the Vikings in the playoffs? That version of the Vikings? We might it might be what it looks like. Or the Niners version of themselves in Seattle this year might be like that.